Simon Bridges, CEO of the Auckland Business Chamber. Fantastic to have me. I was going to say Harry Styles, but you could be Harry Fox
There we go.
Of Yoogo Vehicle Fleet. Great to have you with us, Harry.
Thanks for having me, Simon. Really appreciate it.
Hey, one of the, I think most important things we do with members is our alliance partners, and that's, fundamentally about savings for members. Business can be, I think at the moment, tough. And if they want to provide for their people and do well for themselves, got to make sure that they're doing well in terms of their bottom line. So what I love about Yoogo and our partnership with Yoogo, which is amazing offerings for our business members, is that, if I can just come out with it, it's the savings. But I think it's also big in a different way, not just financial, but savings in terms of time, and there's a peace of mind. I also love the fact that you are a proudly Kiwi business. Maybe talk me through some of those, those savings. I know you guys have been reimagining how this works, fleets in New Zealand, the technology involved, being more proactive so it's easier for your client, for the business concerned. Talk us through some of that, Harry.
Thanks, Simon. So look, I think a big thing around Yoogo Fleet's inception. So we've been around for a little over 10 years, founded in 2013. And I think when the business began, I think the idea, as you said, the team wanted to reimagine how vehicles and fleets have been managed within New Zealand, right? Traditionally, businesses, other fleet management providers have focused on quite a reactive model. Relying specifically on drivers, lumpy data sets that are going to be coming through from fuel providers, but also with the requirement and quite a reliance on, visibility from the likes of their local mechanic actually advising when a vehicle needs to be serviced, right? You guys really flipped the script on that. What we've done is that we've really wanted to provide a proactive fleet management offering to our customers. And the way in which we've done that is through technology, specifically telematics, right? Now, what that means is that not only do we get a really good line of sight in terms of how customers' fleets are operating, but it also means we can provide some guarantees, specifically around compliance. So things like we're on fitnesses, vehicle regos, road user charger labels being sent out. But not only that, we actually get a really enhanced data set to provide robust reporting for our customers. And what that all really means is that we can really ensure that any of the customers that work with Yoogo Fleet can optimise their fleet. And what that means is we can reduce on cost, right? And so a big thing right now in our current economy, money's getting expensive, right? So people want to figure out how they can bring their costs down. And with our offering, specifically on the technology piece, but also some of the products we can put forward to customers, we can really help them drive their costs down and really optimise their fleet for their team.
So with what you've done, effectively what you're telling me is, you and getting in there with the technology piece, and I know there's health and safety and some of these things, you are more proactively managing things, making it easier for their customer.
That's exactly right. So what we wanted to do was ensure for our customers they can actually, I suppose, relinquish themselves from the administrative burden that they have within a lot of businesses. Operating a fleet, big or small, it takes a lot of resource. So with this tech offering, we can allow our customers to fully outsource that to us, and we can provide a full wraparound, turnkey service to them. So not only are they going to be saving on cost, but you're right, on time. So that's a big part of our offering as well.
Look, if you're an SME, what you want to be doing is being out on the road, getting to your customer, and not mucking around with all the admin, the back ends. That sounds fantastic. You mentioned it actually, but let's just talk about that. There's no doubt about it. The vast majority of our members are telling us that cost and cash flow are their issues at the moment. I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming. I think the OCR will come down at some point, hopefully later this year. I think the government's picking up momentum, but it takes time. So you've mentioned it, but kind of run us through how you say Yoogo Fleet helps with those core business issues around cash flow.
So look, I think probably one of the biggest things we can do right now, and as you can imagine, I suppose behind property and people, vehicles are one of the biggest expenses that a business is going to incur, right? As we all know, cost of funds is significantly higher than it was, say, 36 months ago. And what that means is committing to purchasing vehicles is a major consideration for businesses, right? So with the leasing model that we can provide, be it on a finance lease or be it on an operating lease, I mean, we wear the risk, right? We're purchasing that asset, so businesses can protect their capital and invest it elsewhere, be it R&D or whatever else it may be within the business. And then you can actually have a truly budgeted operating cost that you can, budget in and understand over sort of a 2, 3, 4, 5 year period. So the idea is that we just try and de-risk it for customers, not only by buying the asset and helping them protect their cash flow, but I suppose the other side of things is that with a provider like Yoogo Fleet, we've got access to tier 1 discounting, preferred rates with all the suppliers, for tyres, servicing, all of those key elements that come into vehicles. Yep. We can help and we can really assist and actually move the needle for customers and really sort of protecting really their bottom line there.
Fantastic, very cost effective. Actually, I mean, let me ask you just a really basic question,
yep.
which probably obvious to a lot of people who are watching, but let's say you're a business, things have kind of gone well, you've gone from being mum and dad or just yourself to several staff, but you've never kind of considered vehicle leasing.
Yep.
You've always just driven your Mazda Familia or Porsche 911, maybe, I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. You've got. Just explain in simple terms, would you, the value proposition around leasing and why actually it is a very oftentimes smart idea for a business.
Yeah, and that's a really good question, right? So particularly when businesses scale, vehicles in themselves, with one or two, can be manageable for customers, but actually what happens from an administrative requirement for vehicles is quite significant. And what I mean by that is that with vehicles, there is always going to be a servicing requirement.
As soon as you're into a few vehicles, right?
Well, yeah.
It ends up being quite a big job for the business.
Well, yeah, and I suppose a key thing to look at is that it's not only just paying the bills, but it's also booking things in for servicing, making sure that vehicle's actually compliant. It's got a valid warrant. But also,
because it's your employee too, right? You've got obligations.
Totally, yeah, and that's a key thing to remember. But also for things that are unexpected, accidents, breakdowns, all of those types of things. Where do people go, right? Yeah. And I think with a full wraparound service that you can provide to customers, that they just have one point of contact for everything. Mm. Not only is that good for businesses because it means they don't need to necessarily have a resource internally to manage that, but I think the big thing is that when a customer actually relies on an outfit like Yoogo Fleet, we are their sort of one-stop shop for all of their key requirements, right? So everything to do with the vehicle we can manage, but not only manage it, we can also proactively do that and just really sort of ensure that we're providing better outcomes really for our customers.
Yep. Savings and ease. Hey, give us a sense of the vehicle fleet industry, sector, market as we are in 2024.
Yeah, so look, I mean, the vehicle space has been, like plenty of other industries, right, has been significantly impacted, obviously off the back of COVID, and now with a pretty drastically changing economy, with obviously inflation at an all-time high. I think the industry certainly was probably impacted more so than any other, well, more than probably other industries in terms of supply chain, right? So for a number of years, delays on vehicles actually landing and coming into New Zealand and being able to be delivered to our customers took a huge period of time. I mean, 6 to 12 months plus sometimes for customers to get their vehicles. So I think as we moved into 24, supply has come back online for I'd say for most manufacturers, which is great. But I think there's a key thing to also raise is that obviously with the change of government, with Labor exiting and National coming through at the end of last year, that obviously moved the needle pretty significantly on how I suppose people's buying behaviour, both in the retail space and in the fleet space, on what vehicles people were favouring. Right? I mean. The electric vehicle piece had some really good sales over the last couple of years, and a lot of that was driven by the Clean Car Rebate Scheme, which was put together.
Yeah, we've seen the numbers fall off massively.
Well, that's it, right? But I think a big thing to remember is that the tax side of things has also come off, and that was really targeting the likes of vans and primarily utes, and most of, a large portion of New Zealand's critical infrastructure and vehicles that power that are in utes, right? Yeah. So that's been welcome relief.
Thing gone back.
Totally. And look, I fully understand that we have a responsibility as an industry and as a country to do our part and obviously bringing the emissions piece down. But I think that the other important thing to raise is that as new vehicles come to market, they are getting cleaner and more efficient, right? But I also think, I think the piece of, charging, like honest New Zealand businesses to drive vehicles which were required for their, required as their tool of trade, was tricky. So there's certainly been relief in that space. But I'd say, and for in terms of supply and what's happening, things are back online. But look, I'll be honest, the market's soft. I mean, it's people are being a hell of a lot more careful with their money, and they're just really wanting to make sure that the decisions they make are going to be the best for their business, right?
So another reason to lease.
Yeah, well, yeah. It certainly plays into that at the moment, for sure.
Money question for you, Harry. Mm-hmm. How does can Yoogo support Auckland Business Chamber members? Yeah,
so like that's obviously the $1 million question, right? But look, I mean, what we obviously being an alliance partner with the chamber, we've actually put together a number of really attractive deals on a range of different vehicle classes. Yep. Not only electric vehicles, if people are really pushing their sustainability strategy, but we've also got great deals on the likes of vans, utes, SUVs, really, I suppose every sort of vehicle class and make. That people are going to need to really sort of tick the box for their business requirements, right? So those can obviously be found, through your website. We've got obviously all of those promotional offers that the team can have a look at. And if there's interest there, then all they need to do is touch base, and we can sort of run from it from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was kind of my next question. But how do chamber members find out more?
Look, it's pretty straightforward, right? I mean, they can either go to the chamber website specifically, or they can go to yoogofleet.co.nz. And look, through there, we've got a huge amount of information. We've also got some other offers and also details around leasing. Like the benefits of ownership versus leasing and the different products in which we can provide too.
Definitely, fantastic. We'll have a couple of links, 1 or 2 links up on the screen right now, magically appearing when I go like that.
Fantastic.
And as you say, membership has its benefits, and meaningful benefit here with Yoogo Fleet. So look, just fantastic, Harry. We appreciate all of that. It's actually, as you'd expect, but this is a meaningful part of the economic picture, and you've given us real sense from your lens of I think some of the issues going on for business, but actually in relation to this, how they can make some meaningful savings, not just financially actually, but in time and kind of peace of mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Simon. And I think probably, I suppose from our perspective, one of the things we were quite keen to get a bit of a gauge on is what really, I suppose, attracted the chamber to sort of, I suppose, working with Yoogo Fleet, because obviously you've got, when you look at your alliance members, there's there seems to be some sort of consistency in what you're going for. So I was quite keen to understand that in a bit more detail.
I think it's when we looked at our alliance partners and some other great ones, and we can flash them up too. Maybe who knows? Were there gaps, and are there gaps that will be things that we know will be meaningful, practical support and benefit to business members, right? And the whole vehicle piece is a very important part of that. We're a very generalist association. We have members who are everything from intricate AI stuff that I can't properly explain through to workshops. In the outer reaches of this region. I think what's true though, all of those businesses have to get out and about, whether it's clients, whether it's their accountant, whether it's, actually just getting to and from work in this big, oftentimes congested city. So you sit there and say, when I drew up the wish list, what we want, vehicle lease, offers around vehicles is a critically important part of it.
Yeah, no, great. And look, I mean, we're just thrilled to sort of be working with the chamber and obviously providing any sort of our services for its members as well. So, yeah.
is some would say win-win. So win-win-win actually. I think
Exactly.
for Yoogo, for the chamber, it's a great partnership, but most importantly for our businesses, our members all over the Auckland region. Hey, thanks so much, Harry.
Excellent. Cheers, Simon.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.